Hello, Martin Rohner. Wonderful to have you with us here at the We Don't Have Time studio. You are leading an association that's called the Global Alliance for Banking on Values. So please tell us, why should banks be members of your organization?
Yes, thank you very much, Katarina. So the Global Alliance for Banking on Values is a network of the most progressive banks in the world when it comes to sustainable and social impact. A bank might choose to join our movement because it sees an opportunity to change its business model, its institution, towards more positive change, or also because it realizes that collectively we can more persuasively argue for a financial industry that is at the service of people, planet, prosperity, rather than profit.
This is great, Martin. So how do your clients and customers differentiate themselves when it comes to customer offering? Because that's really crucial here, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. So I think first of all, what's great about our banks, they offer depositors, so the retail clients on the street that have their savings in the bank, an opportunity to use that to do good. So to, for example, direct their savings towards renewable energy or affordable housing. On the flip side of the coin is that these banks are very intentional and deliberate about where they put that money, where they put their loans and their investments. They might put those for the energy transition, they might finance regenerative farming, it might go towards affordable housing. Often in the global south, we see banks focusing on financial inclusion and helping the small and medium-sized entrepreneurs develop. So that's what you can do. All of our banks are very intentional about what they do, and they're, more importantly, they're coherent in what they do. So they might not finance at the same time fossil fuels on the one hand side and renewable energy on the other hand, because that doesn't go together. They want to be coherent in their business.
So on that note, what would you say is the biggest problem with the average banks, the banks that really are not doing this?
Well, look, I think the mainstream banks, they're starting to change. They're waking up, last but not least, because investors and regulators are pressuring them to do that. But fact is, if you look at the latest Banking on Climate Chaos report that just came out, that still 60 of the largest banks worldwide have been financing the fossil fuel industry to the tune of 6.9 trillion US dollars over the past 8 years. Now, there is little sign of hope in the sense that this financing has come down from about 900 billion per year to about 700 billion per year in the last 3 years. I'm not sure that this is a real trend or if it's just a reflection of the economic cycle we're in currently. I think it will take a little bit more time. What I find disturbing is that still to this day, there's practically none of these banks have a policy against the expansion and of the investment in fossil fuels. So they are still expanding and building out the problem rather than starting to phase out fossil fuels at this point.
So this is, of course, really distressing, this information, and it's crucial that you're trying to move the needle really in a powerful way. So what can the average retail bank learn from your clients and your members of your
Yeah.
association?
So I think they can learn a lot, and by the way, I think also we can learn from them. I think it's a give and take. What they can learn from the Global Alliance for Banking on Values and from our members is that actually you can be values-based, you can focus on social and environmental sustainability and yet be financially resilient and be profitable. I think our member banks, they are not profitable despite being sustainable, but actually because they are sustainable. It creates customer loyalty, it creates stability, it creates financial resilience. So we see that, that's one thing. The other thing I think that's very important, we are a CEO level network. We engage at the highest level of the leadership in our member banks, so at the level of the CEOs and the boards, the non-executive directors. And I think that's a great way to learn how you can introduce sustainability into the core of your business model rather just than leaving it to the margins of the business model, having a little product here and there, really making it actually part and parcel of your strategy and of your culture.
So on that note, what role do your member banks play, and how do their experiences get transferred into the more average performing retail banks?
Yeah. So we, of course, we have a dual role. We work with our members to strengthen them and help them along on the path towards value-based banking. At the same time, we engage with mainstream banks in different ways. Directly, I think we see ourselves as a catalyst, as a role model, because the values-based banks, they move very quickly and very early on key social and environmental challenges. To give you an example, one of our founding members, Triodos Bank, they started financing renewable energies in 1986, right after the Chernobyl catastrophe, because they realized we need a different way, we need an alternative way of producing energy. And today, renewable energy finance is mainstream, at least in Europe, and so I think they've really paved the way for that going forward. Now that's a direct way how we can take influence. On a more indirect way, we engage with different global platforms. So our member banks have been absolutely critical in coining the principles for responsible banking of UNEP FI. If you compare the language, it's quite similar to the GABV principles, which were defined 10 years earlier. And at the same time, we've been really spearheading the development of PCAF, the Partnership for Carbon Accounting, which today has become the de facto standard for greenhouse gas accounting worldwide for the financial industry. Thanks to the Global Alliance, this standard has been able to expand globally, and we were able to bring in financial players way beyond our membership.
Thank you very much, Martin. This is truly impressive work that you've been able to perform. What are your hopes for this COP? I mean, it's dubbed the Finance COP, and
Yeah.
how about the outcomes, and specifically in your field?
Look,
what is your hope?
I'm here to promote the Fossil Fuel Non-Proliferation Treaty. We want to create momentum around this treaty, which wants to stop building out the problem of that we're creating with fossil fuel production. And in the longer run, also ensure a just transition and phase out, and an economic diversification. So we're here to promote that. This is a treaty that doesn't exist yet, but we hope we're getting a step further with this COP. In that direction. Several governments have endorsed it. Scientists have endorsed it. Civil society has endorsed it. And businesses too are now putting their strengths behind this treaty. I'm very proud to say that 25 of our members have already signed up to it. And so I hope that we will get a step closer to that during COP29.
Well, thank you very much, Martin Rohner, for joining us, and best of luck with your important work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.